What time is it?
Talk a real with a certified yapper. Conversations about the latest and the greatest in the world. We can talk about that man, or you can tell me about old girl. Got a secret, hey, don't lay it on me. You need a friend, I'll be your big homie. Let's take a sip and talk it out. Therapy without the couch. On the rocks is what you need. Come toast reality with me, hey. Now tuned in to Rhonda on the Rocks.
Whoa. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Rhonda on the Rocks podcast. I know it's been about 2 weeks, but once again, I'm back. Still working on the consistency, but it's getting better each and every time. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope that you are starting to enjoy some of this warm weather that we're getting, that we've been waiting on. I certainly have been waiting on it for a long time. And I'm just really glad that we finally have touched the summer months. Juneteenth is coming up. Father's Day is coming up. Shout out to all of the fathers out there. Father figures, the uncles, the grandfathers, the godfathers. Shout out to y'all. Happy Father's Day in advance. I saw something posted. I think one of my social media friends reposted it, where men really feel like they be getting the short end of the stick for Father's Day. And I don't know. I'm not a father, nor am I a mother, but I've heard a lot of men say that Father's Day, they feel like they get the short end of the stick, like they're not getting the same recognition that mothers get, that they kind of get slighted on Father's Day. Nobody makes a big deal out of Father's Day. And I don't know, when my dad was living, I definitely made a big deal out of Father's Day. Maybe it was just me because I was a daddy's girl, but I definitely made a big deal out of Father's Day every single year. So I would love to hear from some fathers. Inbox me and let me know, like, what is the deal with Father's Day? Like, I've seen so many posts. I've seen and heard a lot of dads in my life talk about, especially dads that I've dated, talk about like how Father's Day just always comes up. It's like an afterthought, if you will. A friend of mine actually posted, I guess he was in a store, and he posted the Father's Day gift section. And I will say it didn't look great. It was like some shoes there, like just like random stuff kind of all piled together on this little display. And it was like labeled Father's Day gifts. So I can understand why there may be this feeling of like we're being slighted, we're not being treated the same way that mothers are. But in my experience, I've always celebrated the fathers in my life, the ones that I've dated, my own father when he was living. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot of context on Father's Day, but I definitely have a lot of followers who've been saying like they get slighted. So I guess we'll circle back to that after Father's Day. Maybe 2026 is different, right? Maybe 2026 will show us another side of this, but I don't know. We'll see. Let me catch y'all up. So I have been doing quite a bit of traveling. Ever since my car accident in January, I've decided that I'm just gonna live. When I lived through the car accident, I decided every month I'm gonna take me a trip. I'm going somewhere, even if it doesn't mean that I get on a plane and go. which so far I've gotten on a plane each and every time to go. But even if I take a road trip, whatever, I am going somewhere every single month for this calendar year. So far I've been to Atlanta, I've been to Dallas, I've been to South Carolina, I've been to, not the balloons. Yes, celebrate me. Celebrate the fact that I am alive and that I am traveling. So I've been to South Carolina, I've been to Atlanta again in April, I went to LA in May. This month, June, I've gone to Miami, Fort Lauderdale, to the Bahamas, and the Dominican Republic. I went on a cruise last week, so I was able to touch all of those places between the airport and where I stayed and where the boat docked and where the boat took us to. And it has been a really good time. Anytime that I meet potential suitors, I always ask, like, do you have a passport? Do you like to travel? Because that is something that is very near and dear to my heart. It's a running joke that traveling, vacationing, staycationing is my love language. I love a hotel, especially a nice one. I love to stay in a nice hotel. I love to go to the airport. I love to see different places, to try different foods, to try different restaurants. Although the eating thing has been a challenge for the last year, as y'all know, but I still like to just go and taste it. Just seeing something new. I see Chicago all the time. Like, I'm from here, so I see it all the time. There's nothing really that excites me about this city too much. Like, there are some great things. I do love Chicago, don't get me wrong, but I like to go other places and see different things and experience different things and meet new people. So that's been my goal for the month or for the year of 2026, and so far so good. It's been 6 months. I've done 6 trips so far. I got 6 more to go. So I don't know. I may come to your city. Let me know if y'all got something fun and cool and exciting going on in your city. Let me know. Maybe I'll pop in and, see the sights. One of the other things that I got to do lately, as you know, Chicago has the Obama Presidential Museum, the Obama Chicago Public Library, and I got a chance to preview it. It officially opens on June 19th, which is Juneteenth. But a friend of mine had some tickets, and he chose me to go and see and preview the museum. And it still leaves me speechless to see how beautiful that place is. It also was very nostalgic. Like, it made me think about where I was when Obama first got elected. It made me think about life during his 2 terms and just how I felt. It made me really, really proud to be a Black woman. It also made me exceptionally proud to be from Chicago. But it's a beautiful museum, from top to bottom, floor after floor. It's just so much to see. I definitely want to go back because I feel like I was just so overwhelmed that I didn't really look at every little intricate thing and every little intricate display of things. But I did get to see a lot. I took a lot of pictures, and I will make a content reel when it officially opens. Now, to the people that have also previewed the Obama Presidential Museum, they specifically asked us not to post pictures of the inside of the museum until after it officially opens on the 19th. Why y'all so hard-headed? Taking pictures on the outside, fine. The statues, all of the things, taking a picture of the actual building on the outside, thumbs up. Y'all took y'all Black asses and other asses inside of that museum, took all of those pictures and posted them. We just struggle so much to follow directions. They asked us to wait until the 19th because they wanted to do this grand reveal. And y'all just had to flex for the internet and let everybody know that you got a chance to go and show the inside. But whatever. It's a beautiful museum. I understand the excitement, but I also understand following directions, and I understand why they specifically asked the public and the people who got to preview it not to post pictures of the inside. But y'all do what y'all want to do anyway, and it is what it is at this point. Speaking of the Obamas, specifically our forever FLOTUS, Mrs. Michelle Obama. I don't know this individual who won this wrestling or UFC match and after his speech had the audacity to say that Michelle Obama is a man. I've never even heard of this person before. I couldn't even call his name right now if I needed to, because I don't know him. But of course, it's all over social media. And all I can say is, like, there's something special about a Black woman that would keep your name in someone's mouth, in someone's mind, year after year after year after year, when they haven't even been in the White House in, 10 years? She hasn't been the First Lady of the United States, although she's our forever First Lady, but she hasn't officially been the First Lady of the United States of America in 10 years. Why was it even necessary to mention her? She wasn't there. She didn't contribute to anything. She ain't said nothing about you. Why was it necessary to bring up Michelle Obama and then to disrespect her in the way that this gentleman did, or he's not even a gentleman, in the way that this hoe ass nigga did on national TV? I pray to God that my presence, my name, the thought of me never lives so rent-free in a person's mind that even when we have been separated for 10 years, they're still talking about me. Please. Like, I don't know that I want to have that much impact on some sorry ass person that even after 10 years, they're still bringing me up. I genuinely don't understand it. It is baffling to me that this was said. And is there outrage about it? Absolutely. There's a lot of people who are like, wow, now, okay. I saw one tweet that said, I know Michelle Obama, I'm paraphrasing. Michelle Obama talks about, when they go low, we go high. At this point, Mrs. Obama, go to hell, go to the pits. Like, all of this defamation, all of this, like, sue them. Surely there's something that you can do to take action, because this is utterly ridiculous. And as a Black woman, it's so offensive. It's just, we are constantly being demeaned in the public eye. We are constantly being talked down about. And I don't understand it, because we make the motherfucking world go round. If you want to keep it a buck, Black women are making the world go round. That's what we do. That's what we do. Funky Dineva talks about all the time. Black people are not the problem. We are not the ones getting on national TV and saying Donald Trump is blankety blank blank blank. We're not the ones doing that. We don't get on these public platforms, on these national platforms, I should say, and do this kind of stuff. We just don't. Funky Dineva was talking about the story of the white man who went and opened fire on this backyard party. For what? For what? Black people don't do that. When we see a bunch of white people gathered doing whatever they're doing, we keep walking because we don't care. I don't care what white people are doing when they're all gathered together celebrating Nana. Celebrating Mima and Pop Pop. I don't care. I'm not just gonna start hurling racial slurs at you. You walk past me and I just word vomit a racial slur for what? I'm not even thinking about you in that way. At all. But that's constantly happening to Black people. There's a constant attack on Black people on a regular basis. And if we retaliated the way that, in my opinion, we got the right to, this country would be turned upside down. This country would never be the same as we know it right now if we really were to go there. But for whatever reason, we don't. I'm not saying that I'm going to be the first in line, but something's got to change. It was so hurtful to hear and to read about what was said about Michelle Obama, who's done absolutely nothing. That woman is living her life with her boho knotless braids on her podcast, celebrating her daughters, loving on her husband. I mean, what? Minding her motherfucking business. And here comes some white person minding her business as well. Dragging her into a conversation, dragging her into an event that she was not in attendance at, and just bringing her right on in for no apparent reason at all. Ugh, disgusting. Moving on, because I could stay there all day. Moving on. So like I said, I just came off a vacation from the Bahamas, and it was a great time. I went with my mom, my two cousins, and my two nieces. So my mom and my one cousin are around the same age, so they're senior women. And then the other three, my cousin and my two nieces, are all teenagers. So it was really just me. I was the only bad bitch on the trip, okay? Really just kind of me by myself. I wasn't really hanging out with either group, especially not the teenagers. I hung out with my mom and my cousin a little bit, but for the most part, I was kind of doing my own thing, which is the first time I've ever done that on a cruise. Normally, I have a friend with me, my cousin, someone who's in my age group that goes with me, but this particular time, I didn't have anybody. But I was okay with that because I really did want to kind of spend some time. Sorry, I'm trying to see the chat. Oh, there we go. Hey, Devin. I really just kind of wanted to spend some time by myself anyway and just really just rest. This school year has been very, very busy. I did 2 jobs for the majority of the school year. And so the school year was just heavy this year. So I really just wanted to just take some time and be by myself and relax. One of my biggest takeaways from this trip is that the absolute worst thing that you can do is take teenagers on a trip, period. Hard stop. When I was a teenager and I got to go on vacation, I was so motherfucking grateful. I had a smile on my face from start to finish. I was so happy. I literally was telling a friend yesterday, a lot of the times growing up when we would travel, because my dad didn't fly, we drove a lot of places. And most of the time when we traveled, we went to visit family. We went to Mississippi every year, twice a year. Every year, twice a year to see my cousins. That's where my dad was from. So we would see my cousins, my aunties, everybody who lived down there. When I tell you the night before we used to get in that van and drive 12 hours to Mississippi, I couldn't even sleep. I was so grateful. So happy. I could not wait to travel. My first time out of the country, I was 12 years old for my 8th grade graduation trip. My mom took me on a cruise. Baby, I don't think I could get more grateful. I didn't care what I wore. I didn't care about none of that. I was just so happy to be out of town and get to travel and to see the world. Teenagers, this day and age. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Devin says, yeah, we're going on a cruise next month and I'm dreading taking both of my kids. Pray for me in advance, please. I'm praying for you. Truly. But I think have a conversation with your kids ahead of time. That's what I failed to do. Because in my mind, they're just going to be grateful and excited because they've never been out of the country before. I'm talking about my two nieces specifically. They're going to be grateful. They're going to be excited because they've never been out of the country before. This is auntie. This is my graduation gift to one and a birthday, sweet 16 birthday gift to another, like to the other. They're just going to be happy. And baby, I went on Fashion Nova, bought clothes and swimsuits and, little crop tops and all of this stuff that they can't normally wear at home. Baby, they didn't want to take no pictures. When they did take pictures, there was like no joy on their faces. I allowed them to like stay out on the ship. Like they did whatever they wanted. I didn't follow them around. I wasn't sneaking up to see what they were doing or anything like that. Cause I've met friends on cruises as a teenager plenty of times. That some people that I'm still friends with to this day. I've met people on cruises that I'm still friends with to this day, and it has been a number of years. Almost 20 years for one. So I was fine with that. Do whatever y'all want. But when we get together, y'all don't want to do nothing. Y'all want to lay in the bed. Y'all can't detach from your phones. I refuse to buy internet. I refuse to buy the internet package for them because y'all don't need your phones. Who do you need to talk to? You can take your phone and use the camera because of course I want you to capture pictures. Absolutely. I'm a picture person. Y'all know I post a picture. I posted a picture every goddamn day that I was on this cruise. So I get it. Like, yes, I want you to be able to take pictures so when you get home, you can make your post and send it to your friends. And baby, they want to sleep all day. They want to lay in the bed. They don't want to go nowhere. We're out of the country. Why y'all don't want to do nothing out of the country? I can't understand it. So it was very frustrating for me, and I had to really like coach myself because I didn't want it to ruin my trip. Because at the end of the day, this was my vacation too. Although I initially booked this trip for them, this is my vacation too. I took the entire week off of work to enjoy. I didn't take the week off of work to be irritated with teenagers. I can do that at work. If I want to be irritated with teenagers, I would go to my job. That's literally what I do. I work in education. So yes, I'm with teenagers on a regular basis. All these kids want to do is lay down, stay in the house, and be on their phones. That's 100% true. And I'm 38. Like, I'm not that old. We could not wait to go outside. And granted, we did not have cell phones. I get it. When I was a teenager, cell phones did exist. I did not have one, nor did they have even a fraction of the features that they have now. There was no cameras and all of that stuff. It was just enough to call. I didn't have one personally. Okay? So I get that there is more distraction, for a lack of a better word. But we still had TV when I was a teenager. We still had video games. But we waited to do that at night when you come in the house. But during the day, baby, we was getting on them bikes. We was riding around that block. We was trying to go to Dairy Queen. We was trying to go to the corner store. We were outside. Outside. Did not want to come in. Because if you come in, I mean, you got to clean up. Your parents calling you. They're asking you to do a million things. We were outside. And so it's very different to see teenagers these days who just don't want to do anything. I don't understand the bed thing. Like this laying in the bed all day thing. I don't understand that. Once we got up for the day, which was normally early when I was a teenager, once we got up for the day, you were up for the day. Now, if you fell asleep, maybe on the couch watching TV or something like that, sure. But you wasn't going to get back in no bed in the middle of the day. Why are you so tired? I had to tell my niece, I'm like, you're literally on vacation. Why are you so tired? What like I can't understand it. I'm 42 and we stayed outside. We only came in the house to use the bathroom and barely did that. Girl, barely came in the house to use the bathroom, because if we came in to use the bathroom, we were scared that our parents were going to make us stay in. So although I wasn't allowed to go in anybody else's house, a time or two, I did go in somebody else's house and use their bathroom so I wouldn't have to go to my house and use my bathroom and run the risk of having to stay inside. So I like I said, I understand that times have changed. I understand that things are different, but they don't have to be so starkly different that it makes things unpleasant. I don't mind a teenager using their phone. Like, for instance, on our way back home, we were in the airport for like almost 12 hours because our flight kept getting delayed, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all sitting there on y'all phone scrolling TikTok during that time? Sure, because there's nothing else to do. I get that. But on a vacation, when there's pools, there's all kind of fun stuff going on for teens and everybody, really. There's all kind of stuff going on, and you are choosing to lay in the bed. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. But I learned my lesson. The next time that these two nieces of mine go somewhere with me, it'll be when we go down to the Target, to the grocery store, something like that. But leaving the country, it likely won't happen again. I'm glad that they got to have the experience. I'm glad that they get to say, like, I got an opportunity to go out of the country and see something different. I love that for them. I mean that. I love that for them. And I love it for whoever is going to be the next person to take them. Hopefully it's themselves. Hopefully they'll be able to take themselves one day and be like, wow, all of this money that I spent on this trip, my auntie did this for me and I was ungrateful. What have they done in life to be that tired? These kids would die if they grew up in the 90s, early 2000s. Truly. I'm like, are y'all iron deficient? Like, what is going on? Why are you so tired? Like, they need to have their blood levels checked. Because surely something is going on to where they can't stay awake. They're so tired, they have to lay down constantly. Ugh, no thanks. Let's see. So I also yesterday, fresh off the boat, literally fresh off the trip, got to go to the live show of one of my favorite podcasts, Poor Minds with Lex P and Drea Nicole. I just recently got put onto that podcast. I've seen the clips for forever now. But I just started listening to like full episodes of their podcast over the last couple of months, and I absolutely love them. When I was in Atlanta for the Black Podcasters convention, I got to meet Lex P for the first time. I got to meet her again, or see her again last night because we had VIP. Shout out to my friend Genesis who went along with me. But we had a great time. It's so inspiring to see other Black women in podcasting, especially because they've become so successful. So it's really inspirational to see them just doing their thing. We sat next to some young ladies who were a vibe. One girl does nails, and the other sister was there, and we just had a really, really good time turning up with them in our section. And so when we were parting ways, I didn't mention it. My friend Genesis mentioned to the young ladies that we were sitting with that I have a podcast as well, and I had on my Rhonda on the Rocks jacket that I made, and they were like, oh my God, we're going to follow you and all of that. So that was really nice. They followed me. But then one of the girls said to me, like, we hugged, and she was like, you know what? I believe that your podcast is really going to go somewhere. And of course, I'm a crybaby, so I immediately start getting choked up. She's like, "No, you really have like a sweet, genuine spirit, and I just really believe that your podcast is gonna take off in Jesus' name." These were her words. And so, you know, I talk about all the time how God just he puts people in your life at the right time. I did not know this girl from a can of paint. She didn't even know I had a podcast until the end of the show. But for her to say that, it really just inspired me. And I'm going to do another episode that's called "What Do You Do When Everyone Believes in You and You Don't Believe in You?" That's like the long version of the title, but essentially that's the theme. Like, what do you do when everybody else believes in you and you don't believe in yourself? You believe in yourself and you're like, yeah, I know I can do it, but I'm struggling. But that's another episode for another day. But anyway, that young lady spoke life into me, and it just really, really blessed me to hear her say that to me in that moment. It genuinely just made my night, even more than like meeting Lex P and Drea and seeing the show and being there and doing all the things and hanging out with Genesis. That particular moment was the highlight of my night, and not just because it was about me, but it was definitely something that I needed to hear. I have been hustling, trying to make reels, reel after reel after reel. If you follow me on social media, you notice that I've been overloading the posts with reels every single day, and that is intentional. But sometimes it's hard to get to this desk. It's hard to get to this desk and to turn these lights on, to make sure this mic is on, and to get this laptop on, and to do this show. It is difficult. And what's crazy is I beat myself up a lot because I'm like, you're constantly talking about Rhonda on the Rocks podcast. Constantly. Where's the content, girl? Where's the content? What if Kev on Stage actually does follow me? What if Kev on Stage is actually like, I want to work with you? What if Lex P and Drea are like, man, I want to work with you, but I got to see, like, I want to see some of your content. And there's not a lot there. So like I said, and I say this all the time, I'm working on the consistency. I'm doing my best to be better. But sometimes it's hard to keep that faith and that belief in yourself. It's true, Rhonda. You have that something. Thank you, Devin. Thank you. I believe that. I know that, but I don't always feel it in here. Like it exists, but I don't always feel it. But anyway, I'm going to do a full episode on that. So stay tuned. We never see what other people see. Your reels are so good. Your topics are good. And your personality is super dope. Girl, Devin, please. You're going to make me cry. I don't want to cry on here. But thank you. I appreciate those kind words. It really does mean a lot to me. It really does. So thank you. So one of the things that I love about Lex P and Drea from the Poor Minds podcast is that they are so funny and so authentically themselves that it's almost like I feel like they've given me permission to be myself as well. Not to say that I'm not myself. I'm always myself when I'm on this platform. But sometimes I worry about how other people, you know, my job, my church family, like potential date suitors, like all of that. Like I worry about like, ooh, what are they gonna think? Like if I say this, even though it's how I genuinely feel, right? And so after like being at their live show last night and just doing some reflecting, listening to some other episodes of their podcast, I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. This is Rhonda on the Rocks. Rocks meaning straight, no chaser, just me, just straight up. A little chill, you know, with the rocks, but like other than that, like just straight up, no chaser. And so that was super inspiring as well. I have only met you through the podcast, so if I can see it, then so can everyone else. Devin, thank you. Thank you so much. Devin, I'll actually be in Dallas in a few weeks, so let's go get a cocktail. Um, so one of the most recent episodes of Poor Minds, they were talking about like childhood characters and like movies and fairy tales and all of that stuff, and how a lot of that stuff like was weird and didn't actually make sense. So they talked about like Winnie the Pooh. But what stood out to me, they also mentioned Cinderella. And so as they were talking, I got to thinking to myself, like, you know what? It is very strange. The story of Cinderella is very weird and does not make a whole lot of sense. Now, I'm not just talking about her having actual rodents as friends. Cinderella was friends with mice, okay? I'm not talking about just the pumpkin turning into the carriage. Let's start from the beginning of Cinderella's story. And y'all just stay with me, okay? Let me put this disclaimer out there. I understand that the story of Cinderella is made up. I get it. I understand that the story of Cinderella is a fairy tale. It's not real. But this is what was put in front of us as children. And this is what we were shown and were told that we were to aspire to be a princess like Cinderella. You want to look so pretty like Cinderella. Cinderella's life was fucked up. And the people in her life, the adults in her life, were even more fucked up. So let's start from the beginning. Cinderella's father passed away. She ended up living with her stepmother and her two stepsisters. Now, why didn't Cinderella go to the next of kin? Clearly, she was a minor. So why did she end up staying with the stepmother and the stepsisters, and she didn't go to the auntie, to Big Ma? She didn't go to an uncle. Her godmother wasn't shit, and I'm gonna get there. I ain't talking about Whitney Houston specifically. I'm talking about just the godmother of Cinderella, okay? But why wasn't she then given to next of kin? Because clearly her stepmother and stepsisters weren't treating her right. And why didn't anybody else know that? If my brother died and he was married to an old bogus bitch, I'm going to know that from a mile away. I'm going to say, you know what? Suzette ain't right. I don't know why my brother married her. I don't know why he got with her and them two little raggedy ass girls of hers. But I'm going to make sure that my niece, Cinderella, is good. So where was the aunties and the uncles at? Where were the other adults who were supposed to see after her? Even if she did live with her stepmother and stepsister, where was the aunties? As a proud auntie, as someone who loves my nieces and nephews down, ain't no way in the world they gonna be left in the hands of someone who isn't taking care of them. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. There's absolutely no way. Y'all got my girl over here cleaning up behind y'all. She looking bogus, clothes dirty. She playing with mice. Cinderella needed some grief counseling after she lost her father. Cinderella needed an auntie to come step in and be like, hey, I'm coming to pick my niece up for the weekend. Where was they at? That's number one. So finally, the godmother steps in. Godmother, you see the situation that Cinderella is in, right? You see that her godmother ain't, or her stepmother ain't shit. You see that her stepsisters are verbally abusing her. And you like, you know what? I'm going to put you in a motherfucking pumpkin. And I'm going to let you go to a dance. What? Godmother, I need some housing. Godmother, I'm a ward of the state. I need somewhere to stay, Godmother. Find me a decent group home in this bitch. Instead, you take a jack-o'-lantern, turn it into a carriage, and have my two homies that were mice, not a horses, take me to a dance to see about a man who got all these other hoes looking for him. Make it make sense. And this is the story that we were told. And I never thought about all of these different intricacies until Lex P and Drea brought it up on their episode the other day. Godmother, you impossible. It's impossible for me to believe that you couldn't find nothing else better for me to do. Yes, I'm a kid. Of course I want to go to the dance. But I'm also around here musty and raggedy and cleaning up. Godmother, you didn't say, I'm her godmother, Cedric is gone. It's just me and Cinderella now. Let me take care of my girl. Take me to Never Ever Land, Godmother. Why you leave me in the house? And then you give me a curfew. You get me dolled up. Then you give me a curfew and say, if you not back by midnight, all this shit is going out the way. Now you want to be strict. Now you want to have some rules and some boundaries, Godmother. Now you got some boundaries. All of a sudden, midnight is the cutoff. So now I'm going to be out in the street, dusty and dirty, no way to get home. What about my safety? And then you put me in some glass shoes, hard ass shoes. You don't even make sure that I'm comfortable for the night. I don't understand it. Sounds like that stepmother wanted Cinderella for a check and a check only. Yeah, the whole story was weird as hell. It was. And I don't care if it was made up. I don't care if it was 1,000 years ago. Godmother, can you give me a new cottage? I got to get up out of here. Clearly, I know how to cook and clean. Let me come stay with you, Godmother. And then you put me in a jack-o'-lantern that's drawn by two rodents that turned into horses. Take me to this ball to meet a man. Godmother, a man is the easiest thing in the world to get. The easiest thing in the world to get is a man. And the fairy godmother said, I'm going to send you to the ball to meet a man. I'm tired. I've been cleaning all day. I don't want to go to no ball. I want a good night's rest. So you send me to the ball to meet the prince. We lock eyes and now we dancing all around. And then I get outside at 11:59, and I turn back into the same bum bitch that I was before you came and got me dressed up. Some stuff just don't make sense. Cinderella is one of those stories that just doesn't make sense to me. And I know that I probably looked way deeper into that story than I needed. But once they brought it up, I was like, you know what? That's true. That's true. I remember posting about Cinderella on my social media, the Brandy version, which is one of my favorite movies. I although the story is crazy as fuck, the Cinderella version with Whitney Houston and Brandy, like, it's top tier. Like, it don't get no better than that. Now, while the king was white and the queen, Whoopi Goldberg, was black and their son was Asian, and then it was a lot going on, but I appreciate the diversity. Whitney Houston sang her ass off in that movie. Brandy sang her ass off in that movie. Like, I remember, like, learning that soundtrack from start to finish. It's still a banger to this day. But I remember posting about it on my social media and saying like, oh, this is one of my favorite movies. And a former coworker of mine, who so happens to be a white woman, comments and says that the only version of Cinderella she's ever seen is the one with Brandy. Now, mind you, we're around the same age. I may be a few years older. But she said on my post, the only version of Cinderella that she had ever seen was the Brandy version. A lie don't care who tell it. A lie does not care who tells it. There is no way in the world that you are going to convince me that the only version of Cinderella you've ever seen is the Brandy version. I don't know what year the original Cinderella came out. It had to be like 1940, probably. That movie is so old. The one with Brandy maybe came out in 1997, let's just say 1998, something like that. There's no way that the only version you've ever seen is the most recent version. You mean to tell me you've never been to the Disney store, you've never watched Disney Channel, you've never been to Disney World? Like, Brandy is not the Cinderella that we see when we go to Disney. Brandy is not one of the Disney princesses. She's not. So how in the world are you going to try to convince me that the only Cinderella that you've ever seen is the Brandy version? Needless to say, we had a little back and forth. I ended up blocking her because, girl, stop trying to play in my face. Stop trying to play in my face. If you want to relate, it's fine to say, I also love that version. It's fine to say that I think that version of Cinderella was awesome. Great. Superb, stupendous, loved it. Instead, you make some asinine, unnecessary ass lie and expect me to just believe it and be like, oh, okay. Like what I don't know what she wanted from me with that, but it just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. And I wasn't going to pretend that it made sense in that moment or any other moment, because it didn't. It made no sense to me at all. So, Cinderella's folks, y'all bogus as hell. Cinderella girl, I'm glad you got out, but it didn't have to go that way. You were a teen bride, and I hate that for you. They pushed you into a man's arms and let him take his youth from you. Take your youth from you. They just shoved you into a man's arms. That's the other thing about these Disney princesses. And I know that I am rambling at this point, but it's my show and I can do what I want. And y'all have not heard from me in 2 weeks. A lot of the Disney princess movies all had the same like underlying theme. There's a young girl who's in distress. She's trying to get out of some situation. Mulan was trying to get out of a situation. Pocahontas was trying to get out of a situation. Ariel, the Little Mermaid, was trying to get... Everybody was trying to get out of something. And the only solution was a man. Snow White met 7 of them. Sleeping Beauty had to literally be kissed in order to see the light of day again. She had to be kissed by the prince in order to see the light of day. Men ain't that damn great. Like, sometimes I'd rather sleep. Sometimes I'd rather be a sleeping motherfucking beauty than to have to deal with some of these men out here. Truly. Truly. Speaking of men, speaking of dating, I vowed that I would never get back on Hinge. Y'all have heard me say that 1,000 times. But while being in the airport, stuck for 10 hours, I did re-up my Hinge page. I haven't been on there since the day that I created it, because dating online is dumb and overwhelming. But yeah, I just wanted to give y'all that update for the sake of transparency and letting y'all in my business a little bit. Like I said, the next episode I am going to talk about what do you do when others believe in you and you don't believe in yourself. So stay tuned for that. It is summer, so while I am still working because I work year round, I do have a little bit more flexibility with my schedule, so I'll be popping on live a lot more often this summer. So stay tuned because I got a lot to say. I got a lot to talk about. Thank you, Devin, for joining me in the comments today. Thank you to everybody who is watching. Shout out to my girls, Lex P, Andrea, Nicole from the Poor Minds podcast. Y'all are amazing. Also, shout out to my friend D Smith from the Boy Please Whatever podcast. I cannot ever thank him enough for all that he does to keep me encouraged. He is actually going live tonight at 7 p.m. right here on YouTube. So it's 5:30 now. Go get your little snack, eat your dinner, walk your dog, feed your dog, and get set up so that we can all laugh. I will be in the comments today. I missed the last couple of shows, but I'll be in the comments today. So let's laugh and connect at 7 p.m. on the Boy Please Whatever podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the accountability and just thank you. I really, really appreciate you. All right, until next time.